and welcome to the NRL Live Chat 2.0 podcast 2024 team wrap-up. I'm Breno, and I'm here with PJ.
Hey, Breno, who are we doing today? It's the Broncos.
The Broncos, yes. We're going to check out their 2024 season, the 12th place Broncos. We'll break down how they went, how they might look next year in 2025. So, PJ, what have you got with the Broncos?
Oh, mate, what do we say? They're a lot like the Warriors. I know we did them in the last episode. Rocks and diamonds. They play a really good game, and you think, oh, Broncos are back in, and then they'd play terrible, and then they'd go, oh, geez, they were terrible.
Yeah.
I'm going to tip against them, and then they go and win. Yeah. And it was a really, really tough season to tip the Broncos, I'll tell you. It was very, very difficult.
Yeah, I've said it a few times. I've said it about a few of the bottom teams so far this year that the Broncos are one of the most inconsistent teams in the NRL. Grand final runners-up in 2023. Let's not forget that. Like, what happened to them? To not making the 8 at all in 2024.
They're not making the 8, becoming 12th.
Yeah, that's
12th.
That's a massive drop.
To be one of the bottom teams. Hang on, camera. This way. One of the bottom teams. This way. One of the... you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, they were a bit unfortunate. Another team to get some big injuries, including Reynolds, who only played 13 games, and Reece Walsh, who only played 14, and also went missing after Origin 2 when New South Wales smashed the Queensland players. And he got nailed by Sua Ali.
There were a few critical injuries to the spine of the Broncos this year. Ezra Mam also missed quite a few weeks for injuries. But
there was a few of them,
it's a team sport, man. You know, it's a team sport. If you're missing 2 or 3 of your best, you got to still win with the other 10, right? And
you need some
depth.
This
just wasn't the case.
All right, so let's have a look at the Broncos. They finished in 12th with 26 points. They got 10 wins, 14 losses. They had minus 70 in differential points. They scored 537 and conceded 607. So they conceded more than the Warriors.
Yeah, so that's 9th best team in attack. Yeah. Not good enough if you want to make the finals just quietly. And the 12th best team in defence. And that has to vastly improve.
Absolutely.
For the Broncos to be any chance in 2025, Breno.
Yeah. Yeah, so tackle efficiency, 87.27%. Okay. 76 completion rate, not okay. However, average points, 22 points per game. They conceded 25 points. So, yeah, not great, but they need to lower that conceded dramatically.
Yeah, definitely got to score more points and concede probably 150 less than they are currently.
Best game. What do you reckon? I've got, sadly, the best game for me is up against the Knights. So, not the best game by points scored, but in round 20 they played the Knights. They broke a 6-game losing streak, beating the Knights, who just didn't turn up that week. Knights needed this game to prove they were worthy of the 8, and Broncos then lost 4 of the last 6 games to miss the finals, despite Kevin Walters saying they will play in the finals.
They're not playing in the finals, are they, Brennan?
No.
Oh, Kevy, yeah. They started the season difficult, the Broncos. You know, they had the 20-10 loss to the Roosters, and I don't think the Roosters were that great up in Las Vegas, but they beat Rabbitohs the next week. They got smashed by the Panthers in week 3, but when they went and beat the Cowboys really convincingly round 4, they lost to the Storm in round 5, but it was 34-32. No discredit there. And then pumped the Dolphins, pumped the Raiders, pumped the West Tigers. I'm thinking, this Broncos team is going deep in the finals again, aren't they? You know? And then the 40-18 loss to the Roosters, that was a pretty bad game for the season. I'm going to say the 13-12 against the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles in round 11. was one of their pivotal moments. I think after Manly were riding so high early in the season and winning that match in such a close. Jock Madden, I think it was, that kicked the field goal late in the game. He steered them to victory, but I think that was the game where the Broncos kind of looked like they were going to go somewhere.
Yeah. What about so my worst game? I think probably against the Dolphins. The 40-6 loss by far. I think after winning 2 previous games against Cowboys and Eels, Broncos needed to win that to potentially play in the finals. It was definitely a must-win, and they couldn't get it done. And not a home game either. But they were playing at their home ground, so it was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Mind you, they played there 14 times at Suncorp out of the 24 rounds, and that's 10 games they played that wasn't at Suncorp. No other team has that privilege. However, they only won 6 of their 14 games at home.
Wow.
Or not at home.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there, Brenner. I mean, round 21, they got smashed by the Bulldogs when they really needed to win. Round 22, they got smashed by the Titans when they really needed to win. I went, that's it. I'm giving up on the Broncos. And, of course, the next week, they smashed the Cowboys. Had a bye, edged out the Eels, and then that 40-6 was the worst win of the season. They still had a mathematical chance to make the finals in that match. And then they go and do even better and get 50 put on them in the last round against the Storm.
Yeah, that was a shocker. So
yeah,
that probably was their worst game, but this one, that Dolphins-Brisbane one, Dolphins-Broncos game, 40-6.
I think I'll give it the
pivotal
Dolphins
moment there.
Broncos.
Yeah.
With a honourable mention to the round 12, 36-34 loss to the Titans after they just had what I said was their win of the season, beating Manly the week before, coming out and losing to the Titans at that stage of the season. That was pretty much the beginning of the end. They went to a bye. They lost to the Sharks. They lost to the Rabbitohs. Who did that this year? Then they had another bye. They got smashed by the Warriors. They got beat by the Panthers, the Dragons, and it took round 20 before they even had another win. It was just a shock loss against that Titans team.
So let's have a look at what they might look like next year, 2025 season. So they've got majority of their players back. There's no one coming in.
No signings,
no,
Bruno.
at this
None
stage, no. It's
weird. You come 12th and you've signed no one.
Yeah, so Jordan Pereira's retired. Tristan Saylor, he's gone, but you know what I'm like. I don't know too much about players, but what I did notice with Tristan, he replaced obviously, what's his name, Reece Walsh.
Reece Walsh,
yeah. And I don't think he actually played any good. How many times when I watched the Broncos play that the players just go straight through him. He wasn't in defence. On the goal line, defence was really poor. That's the way I seen it.
Yeah, he had a couple of games. He had a couple of games this season when he replaced Reece Walsh, sponsored by Revlon, by the way. When he came in and looked good in attack, Breno.
Yeah,
he scored some good tries and created some opportunity. But you're right, in defence, it just wasn't there, and I guess that's why he's heading over to England to take a step down and see what he can do in his defensive game before he comes back. But Corey Oates off contract. I can't believe that there's not teams falling over themselves.
Yeah,
I remember there was a period from about 2014, just after Rabbitohs won the grand final, until about 2019 or 2020. Every time we played the Broncos, Corey Oates scored 2 tries against us. It pissed me off so much. He's such a good player.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't understand. Even now, even though he's older, I still think he's a bargain. If he's unwanted by the Broncos with his height, his catching ability, the fact he can sub in at fullback, they've just lost Tristan Saylor. Why would you not have him?
Absolutely, yeah.
As a backup, They've obviously used their money elsewhere, not signing anyone because they haven't signed anyone. So it's an interesting scenario that you've got there with the Brisbane Broncos. You know, they've only let go of Oates, obviously. Karapani, who's a South junior, he kind of got his first chance there at the Broncos. Didn't really shine anywhere, and then Marty Tupou, as the Suncorp commentator would say, I knocked him out. Yeah. Tupou. So come on, man, seriously. Marty Tapau, I don't know where he's going to end up next year. Fringe first grader.
So, looking at next year's top 8, do you think they could hit the top 8? I think they can sneak in.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, injuries were a major part of their demise this year. So if they keep all their good players on the field, I reckon they can get into the top 8 again. Wide gauge between 5th and 9th, maybe.
You have a very wide gauge.
I've got a wide gauge with this one because they're so unpredictable. This team, like
between 1 and 17, I reckon.
No, 1 and 16. Yeah, they won't get the spoon.
Oh, someone has that other one reserved. We won't say who. But yeah, Broncos next year. I'm really struggling, Brenner, because you've got Reece Walsh and Ezra Mam, who both spent significant time on the sideline this year.
Yeah, they need to stay on the field, yeah.
You'd think they got to stay on the field a bit more next year.
Yeah.
Adam Reynolds spent probably half the season out. How many games did you say?
I think it was 14.
14 out of 24 games in. He's going to be less next year.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Jock Madden there. You really need to be developing that next line of players.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 11th or 12th, mate. I can't see a finals berth for the Broncos. Okay. Can't see the finals for the Broncos next year. Sorry.
Although they almost made it this year, that's why I think they might sneak in.
Yeah, but think about it. You got Marty Tapau. He's probably on 300,000-400,000 a year.
Yeah.
You got Corey Oates. He must have been on about the same. They should have about 800.
Got a bit of money to spend, yeah.
Unless they've upgraded someone, and I don't see anyone there.
Probably Reynolds.
Oh God, really?
Probably Walsh.
Maybe extending Walsh or extending Mam.
I did actually hear something about Walsh. It's only what I've heard. I don't think it's been confirmed yet. He is looking at a 5-year extension, and I think it was just over $1 million each year.
Wow.
Yeah.
He totally deserves it. Like, the marketing alone is worth it. But he's a fantastic player.
When he's on, sponsored by Revlon. When he's on, absolutely, definitely the best fullback in the comp.
Yeah,
but he's got to be on the field, and he's got to turn up and not muck around and do some of the silly show pony stuff that he does.
Yeah, but there's a few teams that'll keep a sneaky 800 in the bank and wait and see if someone gets pushed out at the last minute in November or December, and it's another club trying to shuffle their pack or their salary cap. Where do you think they need to sign people? Because they've got Cobbo, they've got Stags.
Well, it doesn't look like they need to sign. They haven't signed any new players, so I think they're comfortable with. Yeah, absolutely. They've got a crazy back line. The only issue, I think, and it's probably where they fell apart a bit too, is during Origin. So half of these players, because they're so good, Queensland plucks them for their team, and they miss a few games for the year. So they need to be able to back them up when
I really don't know. Pat Carrigan, Payne Haas, Jordan Ricky. It's a really good forward pack. You've got Cobbo and Stags and, Reece Walsh in the back line. Really good back line. You've got Mam and Reynolds at 5'8" and halfback. You've got, Walters at hooker.
That's why I'm saying I reckon they can make the 8. They got the names, they got the players. They just got to be able to be on the field and fire up and win some games.
They've got such a good team.
They do, absolutely.
I don't understand how they didn't make it this year, but I'm going to go 10 or 11. I'll lock it in.
Okay. Lock it in, Eddie.
Lock it in, Eddie. So who's the next episode, Brenno?
Next episode coming up, Get ready for it. It is the Mighty Dragons.
St. George,
St. George Illawarra. Here we go. We're on the red and white, the V.
St. George Illawarra. Join us for the next episode. We'll love to see your comments about the Broncos. Where do you think they're going to finish?
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat, and we'll catch you next time.
Cheers, guys. See you soon.